Imagine walking into your boss's office with nothing but a resignation letter and a simple cardboard box, only to watch his smug smile completely vanish when you reveal what's really inside. My name's Nathan Mitchell, and after 12 years of watching my boss, Bradley Thompson, steal credit for every breakthrough I created, I was about to serve him the coldest dish of reality he'd ever tasted. Trust me, what happened next didn't just change my career, it completely destroyed his. I should have seen it coming. For 12 years, I'd been the ghost in the machine at Pinnacle Tech Solutions, writing every line of code that made our company a leader in financial software. While Bradley Thompson stood in boardrooms taking credit for his revolutionary algorithms, I was the one pulling all-nighters, debugging systems, and solving problems he couldn't even pronounce correctly. The breaking point came during our annual investor meeting last March. I was grabbing coffee from the break room when I heard Bradley's voice booming through the conference room doors. "The predictive analytics engine was my brainchild," he was saying. "I spent months perfecting the risk assessment algorithms." I froze. Those were my algorithms. I'd spent 18 months developing that system, testing it through 3 major market crashes, refining every variable. Bradley couldn't even explain what a regression model was without reading from my notes. That's when I started documenting everything. Every late-night work session, every breakthrough moment, every time Bradley asked me to explain it one more time so I can present it better. I created encrypted backups of all my work, stored on personal devices with timestamps proving when and where each innovation happened. But the real wake-up call came 3 weeks later. Bradley posted on LinkedIn about his latest breakthrough in machine learning applications, complete with screenshots of code that I'd written the night before. The comments were full of praise. "Visionary leadership. Bradley Thompson is revolutionizing fintech." I realized I wasn't just being overlooked, I was being systematically erased. The opportunity came sooner than expected. At the Chicago FinTech Expo, I ran into Sarah Williams, head of engineering at Quantum Financial. We'd exchanged ideas at conferences before, but this time she looked me straight in the eye and said, "I've been watching Pinnacle's releases. That risk modeling system? That's not Bradley's work, is it?" I didn't deny it. For the first time in years, I talked openly about my actual contributions. Sarah listened, asked technical questions that only the real developer could answer, and by the end of our conversation, she made me an offer I couldn't refuse. "We're looking for a chief technology officer, someone who actually builds instead of just talking about building. Interested?" 2 weeks later, I had a formal offer letter. Not just any position, CTO with equity, my own team, and full creative control. More importantly, I'd checked every legal document. No non-compete clause, no intellectual property restrictions that could hold up in court. The day I decided to quit, I spent the morning preparing my evidence. Every backup file, every timestamp, every email thread where Bradley had asked me to simplify explanations for his presentations. I burned it all onto a portable drive and sealed it in an envelope. Then I walked into his corner office. Bradley was leaning back in his leather chair, probably planning his next conference appearance. I set my resignation letter on his desk and placed the small cardboard box beside his chair. He picked up the letter, scanned it, and actually laughed out loud. "You're serious, Nathan? Good luck finding another job at your age in this field." He leaned forward, grinning like he was doing me a favor. "You're 45, buddy. This industry chews up guys like you after 40. You really want to start over now?" That smug expression, that condescending tone. After 12 years of stolen credit and quiet humiliation, he was still treating me like I was disposable. I stayed perfectly calm and opened my mouth for the first time since walking in. "I've got copies of everything, Bradley. Every system I built, every algorithm I created, every line of code you've been presenting as your own work. All backed up, all documented, all time-stamped. And I've got a new job that pays double what you're paying me." His color drained from his face.
Quantum was our biggest competitor, and they just hired away his entire technical foundation. You can't do that. You must be under some kind of non-compete agreement. I shook my head slowly. Check your records, Bradley. You said you didn't want to scare off talent with excessive paperwork. Remember? You never made me sign one. He stared at me, blinking rapidly, like his brain was trying to process what this meant for his company. Oh, and Bradley. I picked up the cardboard box and tucked it under my arm. That predictive analytics engine you love bragging about? It's about to stop working next month. Automatic license expiration. Guess who holds the renewal codes? I turned toward the door without waiting for an answer. Thanks for the confidence, I said over my shoulder, and walked out.
I didn't go straight home. I sat in my car in the parking lot, hands shaking, not from nervousness, but from pure, controlled satisfaction. 12 years of swallowed pride and stolen recognition were finally over. The consequences started showing within a week. First, it was small glitches in Pinnacle's systems, minor calculation errors, slow response times, outdated risk assessments. Then came the client complaints. Their automated trading platform started flagging false positives, and their fraud detection system began missing actual threats. Bradley tried to downplay it publicly. He posted damage control messages on LinkedIn, minor system maintenance, and scheduled updates in progress. But inside the company, panic was setting in. Meanwhile, at Quantum Financial, I was finally doing the work I'd always dreamed of. Real innovation, with my name on it, leading a team of brilliant engineers who respected my expertise. We rolled out 3 major improvements to our platform in my first month, improvements that immediately caught industry attention. The breaking point for Bradley came at the Global FinTech Summit in San Francisco. He was scheduled as the keynote speaker, supposedly presenting cutting-edge developments in algorithmic trading. I was in the audience, 5 rows back, watching him struggle through technical questions he couldn't answer. Can you explain the mathematical foundation of your risk correlation matrix? Asked a PhD from Stanford. Bradley fumbled through a non-answer about proprietary methodologies and competitive advantages. What about the machine learning training data? How do you prevent overfitting in volatile market conditions? More fumbling, more generic responses. That's when Sarah Williams stood up from the audience. Actually, I think our new CTO can explain these concepts better than anyone. Nathan, would you mind? Every head in that auditorium turned toward me. Bradley's face went completely white as I stood up and walked to the stage. For the next 15 minutes, I explained exactly how those systems really worked. Systems I had built with my own hands, tested through real market conditions, refined through countless iterations that Bradley had never even witnessed. The audience gave me a standing ovation. Industry publications picked up the story within hours. The real brain behind Pinnacle's success revealed. Bradley's company stock dropped 23% by market close.
3 months later, Bradley's resignation was announced in a quiet Friday afternoon press release. Pursuing new opportunities was the official line, but everyone in the industry knew what had really happened. Pinnacle Tech Solutions was acquired by a larger firm 2 weeks after that, primarily for their client base. The innovative technology that had made them valuable, that walked out the door with me. As for me, I'm building something entirely new at Quantum Financial, not just maintaining systems someone else designed, but creating next-generation financial technology with my name proudly attached to every patent and publication. The best part? I never had to raise my voice, never had to destroy anyone personally. I just did the work, documented the truth, and let Bradley destroy himself with his own arrogance and ignorance. Sometimes the quietest revenge is simply revealing who actually did the work all along. So here's my question for you. Have you ever been in a situation where someone else took credit for your hard work? How did you handle it? Drop your story in the comments. I'd love to hear how you dealt with workplace injustice. If you enjoyed this story of quiet justice and want to hear more tales from the hidden hearth, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. We share stories about real people finding their power in unexpected moments. Until next time, remember, the truth always finds a way to surface.